What's good, everybody, and welcome if it's your first time viewing. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm the Nappy Dreamer,
And I'm Kia Blaine,
and we are the
the
Melanin
Melanin
Mindset.
Mindset.
All right, so I have a question before we get started, though. For real. Do
hmm
you put on perfume or anything like that before we start the show at night?
Every now and then I do. I just because it's sitting there, just because it's next to where I put my makeup on, I'll do like 2 squirts.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Half the time, like the nicest thing I'm wearing is from the waist up, so I don't understand why I'm literally wasting perfume
No,
to
I have
sit
done it.
here
Not, I
by
don't do it
myself.
regularly, but every now and then, yeah, for no reason at all.
None. I don't know. I just felt like I should ask because I felt like maybe I'm not alone. Um,
You're
what's
not.
good, Jimmy, Blaine, Ganja, Poe, and Linda? We are always so happy when you all get in with us each and every night. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that thing that I do, and then my friend gonna go ahead and kick us off. All right. So if you are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, The Melanin Mindset, go ahead and subscribe as well as turn on those notification bells so you can be among the first to know when we do go live. Find us on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset. Find us on Instagram as well as Twitter, Melanin Mindset _. And then we can be found out there on TikTok at the Melanin Mindset. All right. So those are all the ways you can plug in with us. I feel like I could stand to note the fact that we are online at www.themelaninmindset.org. Okay. So that's
Mhm.
www.themelaninmindset.org. Thank you so much. We appreciate the love. Look, they lighting the chat up early tonight. Okay. All right, make sure y'all
Okay,
keep
ready,
that same
ready.
energy. Okay, keep that same energy. All right,
Mm-hmm,
friend.
mm-hmm.
Friend, go ahead and kick us off.
So tonight we will be talking about gatekeeping. Now, gatekeeping, as some of our audience might not have heard the term or understand what it means, but we're gonna get around to that. So we looked it up, and we looked up we like a good definition around here. And so the definition says the activity of controlling and usually limiting general access to something. We're missing a T there, friend.
I
That's
hate
okay. I
you.
know you typed it in real
I
fast. I
I
know you
copy
typed it in real
pasted.
fast.
That's my fault. Okay, hold on. Let me put it back so we don't
Uh-huh.
look completely
So the
crazy.
activity of controlling, usually limiting general access to something. So the way we're going to be talking about it today and how we're addressing it is when it comes to cultural um traditions, behaviors, those types of things. Is it wrong or bad to gatekeep? And we'll dive more into it. So, friend, when you first heard the term gatekeeping, like, how did you take it?
Of course, a negative connotation. I wasn't looking at our community directly. So
Mm-hmm.
the term gatekeeping, I guess when I first ever heard it referenced, had to do with non-melanated people preventing melanated people from progressing within different
Yeah,
industries and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's where the initial understanding of gatekeeping came from. But then
yeah.
I found out we're all guilty of gatekeeping in some way or another.
Absolutely. But so what we're going to discuss today is it bad? Is it always bad, or is it always good? Or can there be times when gatekeeping is understood or okay?
Okay. So I guess I would like to say so I know I just made the comment that everybody is guilty of gatekeeping in some way or other.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to clarify that before we dive in. So if your Aunt Pumpkin has a sweet
Mm-hmm.
potato pie recipe
Mm-hmm.
and you have asked Aunt Pumpkin for the sweet potato pie recipe and she refuses to allow you to have it because it's her secret recipe, Aunt
Mm-hmm.
Pumpkin is gatekeeping. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we are all guilty in some way or other. Now go ahead, friend.
But is Aunt Pumpkin wrong for gatekeeping her sweet potato pie recipe?
My
No,
thing,
okay. I feel like if you're gonna tell me straight out, like it's my secret recipe, I'm not telling you. Okay. I think what annoys me is if you give me the recipe and leave an ingredient out, or you give me the wrong measurements or something like that. Like, what is that? Like, if you don't want to tell me, don't tell me.
nobody ever got you like that, have they, friend? Have they gotten
I
you?
don't
Because that
know.
sounded okay. I was about to say that sounded a
I
little too.
don't know. saying. Like, I guess I probably seen like TV shows or something on TV where that happened. And
Yeah.
they're like, it was sabotage. They sabotaged on purpose. And I just
Right,
like,
right,
yo,
right.
that's messed up. Just say no.
Oh man, I be seeing this TikTok with this one girl who be making different things, but she does voiceover, and then she's like, "Am I the butthole?" And then she told a story one time because she did ask her mother-in-law for like a brownie recipe or something like that,
Hmm.
and she was like, "No." And so she was like, "Well, I make them anyway. You know what I mean? I make them, but I think yours are better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?" And
Hmm.
but she just refused to give her the information. So she said to her husband, I asked your mom because I would like to make them too, like she makes them so you would enjoy them more, because he
Hmm.
grew up on her brownies.
That
And
part.
she said the lady didn't give it to her. Well, guess what? Homegirl, next time she had one, she snuck half of one and then kept tasting it to try to see if she could figure out what different flavor was not in
Uh-huh.
hers. And then she figured out something, whether it was correct or incorrect, who knows? But
But
she
she got
made
close
them.
enough.
Girl, she made them, and her husband was obsessed. Her husband was like, "Mom, you should try these." And the
Hmm.
mom was like, "She made my brownies?" It's like, "No, I made my brownies." And he
Yeah.
said hers were better than his mama's, girl.
How about that?
Gatekeep it. But
So
go ahead,
mama
go
did
ahead.
all that gatekeeping for the recipe and it didn't matter. She can keep her recipe now.
Sure enough, your
So
son
should
don't
she
even
have
need it.
should she have shared it? I don't know.
I oh,
Cause now I'm looking at the other side. Like, had she shared it, then she just would have been copying her recipe. But because she didn't, she had to work that much harder. And now look how successful she was. I don't know. Like, the fact that she didn't just hand it to her, she had to work for it, but then she created something that was even greater.
I'm gonna tell you right now, mom didn't look at it like that. Okay.
No, I know. I'm just thinking. I'm just looking at the situation. You know,
Y'all
I don't know.
tell us in
With
the
critical
comments what you
thinking.
think. Y'all let us know in the comments what you think about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure mom wasn't saying, "Oh, look how much better she came out for it." Do
No,
you,
especially not if she was the in-law.
do you find? But do
That
you
was
find
not the
benefit?
case. Huh?
Do you find benefit in gatekeeping? As far as recipes, we talking about
Absolutely.
recipes right now.
Recipes? Nah.
Nah.
No, not in recipes. No. Come on now.
What if it's like a family tradition, like
It
your
don't
great
matter.
great
Like,
great?
we eventually we die. And we don't know when we gonna die. So you might as well let somebody else know how to make it so that whoever left behind when you gone can enjoy the same thing.
But what if they just write the recipes down? You know what I mean? Keep a little box,
Then you're
and
not
then be like,
gatekeeping.
you are
You're
because
not
nobody can
gatekeeping if
access
you
the
wrote it
box until
down.
you're gone.
Not true. Not true. You could think that ain't nobody accessed the box until you was gone. But unless you carry that box in your person at all times, anybody can get to the box.
True. All right. So what you're saying is, if I don't, as long as I don't write it down, I can still effectively gatekeep.
Yep.
Okay. So
That's what,
once
if
I put
that's
it
what
in
you
the
want to do.
atmosphere.
I don't see the purpose of that when it comes to food, but if that's what you want to do,
Mm-mm-mm.
especially if you not the colonel, because I mean, if giving the recipe is not going to detrimentally affect you, I don't see the point of you gatekeeping your recipe. Oh, God forbid they stop asking you to make macaroni and cheese.
God forbid, God forbid. Y'all
Like,
let us know what your thoughts are in our community as a whole. I know that's a big one. That's why I use that as my example, is because that's a big one where it's like it's your great 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 grandma Ida's recipe that's been passed
mm-hmm.
down from generation to generation, and it's not your turn yet. So you gotta hold out until great Aunt Pookie passes on and you get the recipe.
I mean, like, I love to cook. I am definitely someone who loves to cook. But if one of my kids or my mama or shoot, my sister, cousin, friend, anybody can cook the same thing I cook and it's edible, I have no problem saying I'm good. I ain't got to cook that.
But would
You
you
can
teach them how to make it the way you make it though?
absolutely. I have taught everybody how to make my macaroni, but for some reason it still don't come out the way it do when I make it. Mom, you gotta at least make the macaroni, and I'm like, I don't want to. It's expensive and it take a long time.
I can't. I can't. It's because you cook it with love, friend. You cook with love. See, you
Maybe
can't
it's
give
because I cook it with
that.
an attitude, because I really be having an attitude every time I got to make it.
I can't. I can't. I
So
can't.
maybe it's the spice
You cooking with a little sass.
with a little sass. So it got a
Sprinkle a
little
little
sass
sass.
in it.
Got it.
What
Got it.
about employment?
Oof. That was my first
Like you
understanding
know,
of it.
I got a good job, and people like, oh, where you work at? Are they hiring? And they could be hiring, and good and well they hiring. You be like, no, I think they filled all the positions because you don't want a certain person or somebody else at your job. Or like, why would you do that though? Like, what would be the reasoning behind you not saying, oh yeah, they hiring?
I don't know. I don't know. And I'm guilty, but I don't know. I
You
just
don't know
know
why you guilty.
I don't know why I do it. I do it. It's like somebody be like, "Oh, are they hiring at your job?" Now, listen, what I'm not about to do is put my name on that application, but
Mm-hmm.
I will show you where you can go apply.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a form of gatekeeping because it's like if I know that simply by me connecting you to the right person, that your probability of getting that opportunity goes up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I should, in theory, be willing to share with you that opportunity. But I think my mind gets caught up. I get caught up because I'm like, I don't know exactly your work ethic. I don't know exactly what you can do. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if I bring you in and
But
you
if
do
I bring you
poorly,
in and put my name on it.
yeah, it's a reflection of me. So, yeah.
So, like, can't I don't know. Like, I feel like for me, it would be first of all, y'all know I ain't working for nobody because makes me itch. But if I was working like for a small company, I think I would be very like mindful of who I refer to come work there, because if I don't mess if we don't if I don't feel like you're gonna be a fit, like a lot of smaller companies have a certain culture, a certain way, and if I know that you're not gonna be a good fit, I might say you wouldn't like it there, or I'll tell you straight up, like, you too ghetto. You know me, I don't have no filter. I would tell you are too ghetto to work there. You want. Now if I was working for a big corporation, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care, but I might not put my name on it, but I'll give you the website.
Right.
I'll be like, yeah, go to abc.com and go under job opportunities and put your resume in.
I did that one time with my church, my
Mm-hmm.
local church in Orlando. We were having a huge hiring event. I gave it to the lady who make the announcements, and y'all know the person who got make the announcements. They say everything, so I gave
Mm-hmm.
it to her, and I literally sat out front in the front section of the church and took
Yeah.
everybody's email address and sent everybody out a referral to this position. Now, with me doing that, they were going on the more bulk side of the business where
Okay.
they may have heard of me, but they have nothing to do with me. You get what I'm
Got
saying? So
Yeah.
I did send them there, but as far as coming to my department where it's a little bit smaller and everybody know who I am,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit less likely. But friend, also an issue I have with referring at times friends or family to
Mm-hmm.
work with me has a lot to do with the integrity I've built at my place of business or my place of work. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want them to come in and holler. I shared with you what my grandma used to call me when I was little. I don't want nobody
Yeah.
hollering that across the room. You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying? Like, I don't
I,
I
I
don't
mean,
want that.
okay, I get that, but isn't that a small thing on the grand scheme of things? Like, if you really think about how our melanin community gets less job opportunities, we're less likely to be picked because our names are ghetto, all of those types of things. Like, if we could reach out a helping hand and be like, all right, my job hiring, they want us to refer people out, this is it. Or if somebody asks, you pointing them in the right direction, but then just telling them like if my nickname's Cookie, you better not call me Cookie in this daggone place to work. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. Like, don't do that. Because we both gonna get fired because I'm gonna fight you. But I would just make it very clear. Like, don't
Mm,
work is work. And honestly, most I'm not gonna say all, Most of us, most melanated people know that. We know how to act. Even if it be real stupid or real, we know how to act in front of people. Now, honestly, if you were the type of person who been unemployed for a long time, I'm probably less likely you to refer you somewhere because I want to know why you ain't been working in so long.
Now
Or if
I
you
do
somebody
that.
who got a high turnover, like I got somebody in my life right now. First of all, it's jobs out there. I'm just gonna let me put that out there for everybody. It's jobs out there because this person, I don't know how she keeps getting jobs, but she keeps getting fired as well. But she keep getting jobs. So anybody say it ain't no jobs out there, you a lie. Cause she ain't qualified nor a good worker, but she keep getting hired on somebody's job and reputable companies too. Not no little hole in the wall jobs either. Like the big names. Like you could buy stocks in these companies, and she keep getting hired, and I don't understand it.
I'm trying so hard to not laugh at you.
Don't last no more than 3 months nowhere, but hey, she keep getting a job.
Oh my gosh. Like I feel my eyes watering and I'm trying to hold it in. I don't have time for you tonight. I don't have time for you tonight. All right, so let's look at the comment section here. We got a couple of comments. So first off, we're gonna start from the top. So I'm gonna give a quick whoop whoop to Lala. Thank you so much. We love you, girl. We really do.
Hey,
How you doing?
how you doing?
Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped right to the questions. Aunt Mona said, "Hey, Queens. Hey, Aunt
Mm-hmm.
Mona." All right. So Shay says, "I don't need you to mention names in case you blow it," and
That
that is
part.
exactly my issue. Like,
Yeah, like
I
you don't
don't
want to
need
put
you
your
to.
name on
Right, because it's like a lot of times they're looking at who you know, not necessarily when you get hired, but what's the term? What's the term? Uh basically it's a term, I can't think of the phrase right now, but you're who you hang out with basically.
it.
Like
Mm-hmm.
your circle is kind of a reflection of you. I can't think of the phrase. It's a phrase. I'm sure everybody knows it, but um it's
I've just
basically a
heard people
reflection
say
of
you are the 5 people that are closest to you.
yeah.
Like
And
it's a reflection of you.
if I let them in and they come in and they, flip the script, they might look at me like, oh, she just might flip the script. You know what I mean? Birds of a
Yeah,
feather.
birds
Thank
of
you.
a feather.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Birds of a feather flock together, honey. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like just by you going in here and blowing it, like Shay said, you go in here and blow it, whatever that negative quality was, I don't
Yeah.
need them to turn around and look at me like, oh, if she referred them, it must be somebody she has confidence in. And if this person has this trait and she has confidence in them, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And that's
especially in like
that's
you
my
said, like
struggle.
just like you said, like in your position, you're in a small team within a bigger company. So to directly refer somebody to in your department would be a reflection of you. But
Right.
like to just refer them to like say, let's just say like you're let's say you're the vice president of marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just to refer somebody to maintenance, that ain't gonna be a direct reflection of you. Just to
No.
refer somebody as a cashier, that's not a direct reflection of you. But if you want you VP of marketing and you be like, this person will make a good this in the
Almost.
marketing department.
Almost.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? This
Not
person will
quite
be
though.
good in marketing. And then the person gets there and they absolutely suck. They can be like, how'd they get this job?
Right,
Oh,
right.
that's nephew
Because
cousin.
um
But now let
because
me
it's
tell you
like
something
being for real
though.
for real. That's true
It
though.
only seems to be bad. How can I say this? It
Just
only
say it.
seems to be bad. I'm just trying to say it so it makes sense. It only seems to be bad when it's us. So, like, if I refer you and you suck, before you know it, both of us are fired. But if, you know, them
Timmy,
other people refer they sorry ass niece, nephew, they
John.
they will literally drive a company into the ground, and everybody knows this person is not qualified for this position, but because it's a bigger boss's nephew or a bigger boss's his neighbor. It could be a bigger boss as anything. We just deal with the inaccurate, what's word? The inadequate performance.
Inadequate. There we go. Girl, that's nepotism. Hold on, I'm looking up the word, honey, because I got to give the definition. You know what? We like a good definition.
Yeah,
It
but it's
because
just
it's Big Bob's nephew, like you said, and his nepotism keeps him safe.
yes, yes.
Mm,
That sucks. So in that aspect, gatekeeping seems to work for them in that aspect, but not us.
right. I'm putting
And
it
then
in.
because you also better believe while COO Bob's nephew is over here running this company into the ground,
Mm-hmm.
he's still making his money, he's still making investments, and eventually they'll just leave after they've ran it into a ground so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You still looking up nepotism?
Oh, I have it.
Okay. Because I was getting ready to switch up. So go ahead while
Oh,
this
okay.
applies to this.
All right, so I'll read the full definition here. So it's the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. So especially by
Mm.
giving them jobs. So
What's COO Bob nephew name?
we're gonna call him Tyler. We're gonna call him Tyler. But yeah, no, it is I've had someone who used my name to get a position, and
Mm.
they were like they knew who I was and things like that. And then they
Did they
they
actually
spoke
know who you were?
they knew of me, but they didn't actually know me, no.
Oh
And
no.
so like they didn't know
Too
me
bad.
at all.
What's
And it
what
was
their name?
I'm not doing this.
No.
So I'm gonna
Using
tell
my
you
friend
offline.
information. I'm
I'll tell
using
you
my friend
offline.
information.
But they used my name and spoke so highly of me, and it was in line with feedback that leadership had gotten about me before I even got to where I was at. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So then this person comes in and interviews, and they get the position. And my boss was so thrilled to tell me that they brought this person on the team, and I'm gonna be so happy about it. And I said, I have no clue who that is because I
Wow.
did not know who the person was. And my boss was
Wow.
just like, "What?" I said, "I sincerely don't know them. I've never heard that name before." And then
Hmm.
that's when my boss said, "Well, she said that so and so connected her to you." And so, of course, you know me, I reached out to so and so. All right. And
The
when I reached out
nerve.
to so and
The
so,
nerve.
she said, I told her to reach out to you because I'm always helping people at my job, honey. I'll help anybody get a promotion. Now don't
Mm-hmm.
play. But I've helped so much. And this person, when I spoke to so and so was like, no, well, I told her to reach out to you. And I gave her your name and told her where you worked at and things like that so she could talk to you. And I said, tell her I sent you. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm gonna tell you, honey, you sent her, but she never arrived.
She
But
get
she like she took her time to tell leadership that she knew me and was this, that, and the third from me based off of the projects you told her I've worked on. And she used them as
mm.
examples. Well, needless to say, she's no longer here. It's not because of that though. But she's no longer here.
One of us
And
froze. I don't you or
I don't know,
me.
y'all. Let us know in the
Looks
chat.
like it.
Let us know in the chat if we're frozen. Let us know in the chat if we're frozen. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
I
I
hear
didn't.
you. You hear me?
I heard you the whole
You see
time.
me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just keep talking, I see you and you're moving too. Well, not anymore. Nope.
Okay. All right. I was just
But yeah,
okay.
that experience was
It
crazy. And
is
then,
me though. My connection keep going down.
oh, okay. And then the other experience before you move forward is when a similar situation, but my vote was for no. And then the person made it on. And then it was like, well, how did this happen?
Mm.
I told you about this. I said in the meeting, I said, I have no idea how it happened, but my vote was no. And
Just so
that's what I
y'all know, I was the one who said no,
I
but
said
y'all went
no.
ahead with this anyway.
It was me that said absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not my business. That is not my, what is it? Not my monkey, not my circus. I done moved
Oh
on,
my
honey.
goodness.
Not my
Oh my
monkey, not my
goodness.
circus. Yes. So go ahead, friend. Head where you headed.
Like,
Now you freezing.
oh, now I'm freezing. Yeah, because I
There you
see it,
go.
it turned yellow. My little bar turned yellow. So, like, what about education?
Mm,
So
knowledge or access?
both. Let's go with knowledge first.
Okay.
Because there was always this, stigma, especially during times when there was segregation, that the non-melanated people were getting better educations than the melanated. And we're talking about in what do you call it? What do you call it? I got post-secondary. What is it? Pre-secondary? Primary
Primary.
school.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh
wait,
my
what do you
gosh.
I'm like, what do you call the regular schools? And I don't know about anybody else, but from my observations, that was not fact. Now, granted, um, because they, especially here in America, they rate our education on how smart we are on these standardized tests, right?
Facts.
But the standardized tests are culturally biased.
Also facts.
Yes, and so the reason that we non-melanated people, black and brown people, did poorly on these standardized tests is because the questions were not relatable at all, and it didn't make sense. But when you
Frank.
look at an academic performance in the classroom, no, what there's nothing. I have a client who is upwards of 70. I don't know exactly how old she is. But
Mm.
she was telling me that she remembers when her friend was the first student to integrate schools in Palm Beach County.
Wow. I feel like you told me
Now,
this.
first of all, that caused me to pause because it was like, sometimes when we talk about racism and discrimination and things like that, we make it seem like it's such an old thing. But the fact of the matter is, schools were still segregated. Those people are still alive. And a lot of those people are in positions of power. And so they still have that you don't belong here mentality. But
That's
what
crazy.
was so interesting about what she said was that her friend was so nervous about going into the non-melanated school because she didn't think she was going to be able to hang. She didn't think she was smart enough just to get there and be top of the class and be smarter
Mm.
than everybody. Now, did they point that out? Heck no. Did she get valedictorian? Heck no. But the fact, just on a personal note, she was like, man, them kids are stupid.
Like
Like
my
the
thing
work
is
was
this.
easy for her.
We know Ruby Bridges, the first one, the very first one. Y'all know she's still
Mm-hmm.
around, and she's younger than my aunt, my uncle, and
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And my
So,
dad was 5 when this
mm,
happened. So it's like,
mhm.
bruh, that's
So
how
like
recent
all the
this
kids,
was.
all of the children, whether you were melanated or non-melanated, you still, that is very much ingrained in you, and probably hard for you to shake that. If you're melanated, you feel like they don't want you or they don't respect you, and vice versa. And it was just like, for her to say that, I just kind of stopped, like, wow, that kind of explains a lot.
Mm,
Of some
mm.
of those sideways comments you get from the Karens. And there was one video I was watching where this lady was literally asking her, like, how do you afford that? Like, why is that your business? Am I gatekeeping by not telling you how I can afford it? And if that's the case, I'm gatekeeping.
Uh-huh. Technically, depending on what it is. I guess by definition,
How
yes.
can I afford it? How can I afford it? None of your business. That's how.
Right. By definition, yes, you're gatekeeping. But I guess we're just looking at definition. By definition, yeah, you were.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so with the whole education thing, I want you all to let us know down in the comment section below where you think the limitations, or if you feel gatekeeping within education is appropriate. And I will explain what I mean after we get back from this commercial. So let us know down in the comments if you feel like gatekeeping in the educational system, and I mean for us, okay? And
Mm.
if it is appropriate, and we will pick up on that note when we get back. Y'all, you know we brand ambassadors for Deanna. We say this every single week. So please head over to deanu.com and shop, saving 15% off your purchases, clearance included, by using promo code Melanin Mindset. Y'all, we'll see you in about 30 seconds. What's good, Mindset family? The Melanin Mindset is thrilled to announce we are the newest brand ambassadors for Deanu Apparel. Deanu Apparel is a Black-owned apparel company that offers trendy African-inspired prints in each and every garment. They're offering our listeners 15% off their purchases just by using promo code Melanin Mindset. There's something for him, there's something for her, and there's even something for the kids. So head right over to deanu.com using the description link down below, or just simply enter Melanin Mindset at checkout and save today. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, and thank you for hanging in with us, y'all. So before we left, we talked about, is it appropriate, is it acceptable in education to gatekeep? That is what note we left off on. Is that appropriate to gatekeep? All right. Oh, thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much, Shay. Thank you so much for stopping by. Friend, can I give her a shout out real quick? Y'all,
Go ahead.
That is Shay of the Shaylin Band. Y'all, please go check out Shaylin Band
Oh,
on YouTube.
what's my jam? What's
Honey,
my jam?
listen, which is
Huh?
not the jam. What's not the jam?
No,
Like
it's
every
one that I really
song.
like. I can't think of the name of it right now. Oh, but
Oh,
that thing, everything.
yeah, she about to look it up. I know
I
she gonna look it
honestly feel
up.
like
And
it's
we're
the
gonna
first one on the track.
Oh, Good Time. You like Good Time, the title track.
Yes,
Good Time.
yes.
Yes, you like Good
Mm-hmm.
Times. Girl, I be jamming to all of them. I told her I'm about to convert a couple of them into praise and worship songs. We about to be singing them at church. Like,
I'm so done.
listen, we'll flip a song real fast. But I told her, I was texting her, I was up listening to it. I said I done gave it to my friend, girl. I done gave it to everybody. So y'all check out Shaylin Band on YouTube. Shaylin Band. They're out on Apple Music, Spotify as well. Shaylin Band. All right. Make sure y'all check them out. And by
Mm-hmm.
the way, that's my blood, y'all. That's my cousin. So please support her.
All right, guys.
All right. So that's there. But for real, you won't regret it. Anywho, so when it comes to education, we have HBCUs, right? Historically Black colleges and universities.
Mm-hmm.
I know they are not segregated, that other people are welcome. However,
Mm-hmm.
usually the environment is not conducive to welcoming them. So with that, all right, it's
What you
not
mean though?
it's
What
the
you mean though?
activities, the things that typically take place on campus, the activities,
Mm-hmm.
um the after class events, the social events, the gatherings, the all the
It's an
things that they're
HBCU.
right, but it's not conducive to non
It's an
what's the
HBCU though. Like
right.
I don't go to Pizza Hut and tell them, I don't know why y'all don't have no burgers. It's Pizza Hut.
You get what I'm
So
saying though.
it's
So they
conducive
have
to its title. It's a HBCU.
and I am in no way, shape, or form any HBCU alum out there watching us. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that HBCUs do not allow non-melanated people. I just thought I should put that out there. What I'm saying though
They do,
is
and they have them. So
right, they do, and they absolutely have them. But the core essence of the experience, I mean, just watching my goddaughter go from night to day when she went to an HBCU, it's just, I don't know, it's something different. It's that connection they got. But when it comes, like you said, to education and access and things like that, we saw a video, I shared with you actually, a video where the girl
mm-hmm.
was talking about the dancing that they do during the half times and things
The
like that.
majorette
The
dancers.
majorettes.
Yeah.
The original group, I kept saying J sets, but then I heard what you said when you said majorettes. That is what they're called, majorettes for sure. The first
Yeah.
group was the J sets back when
Yes.
they got started.
Yes.
So with that, there was the University of Southern California. They opened up space for a young melanated young lady for her to be able to participate in a not even participate, create a dance
Mm-hmm.
team for halftime that basically were majorettes, and they presented a certain dance, and it happened to be the J sets choreography. All right.
Mm.
So a lot of people on the internet was mad, like not little mad, like friend, they was big mad. And they were talking about how she did that at a predominantly non-melanated school. So
Mm-hmm.
the issue that a lot of people had was no, she shouldn't be allowed to teach that dance, because once Peggy and Tamala and Sarah and all of them want to do the dance, it's going to be a problem. And this is not me saying it's going to be a problem for me, because I am definitely on the part of what she was saying. I'm team let them girls live their life. But at the same
I'm
time,
team no. I'm team no.
what about when Timmy and Jason and Mark want to play on the instruments and get to sliding on the ground and get to throwing them trombones and flipping them
Yeah, it's gonna
tuba?
be a hot mess. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a hot mess. It's gonna look stupid because it's not that. Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
The things that are um associated with HBCUs, the word, they are unique to HBCUs,
Right.
right? Like the whole
Exclusive. Yeah.
majorettes, like that happens at HBCUs, or sometimes it does happen at universities that do have the the Black Greeks at their university. You might
Hmm.
still see it there too, but it's I don't know how to say it. It's like it's an art form, right?
Hmm.
And in order to preserve the art form, it should stay with the original artist.
But why would that taint the art form if other cultures do the dance?
Because it's a cultural art form. And I'm gonna give you an example that is not like that. I'm still talking about an art form. Have you
Right.
ever watched a TV series? Right? Season 1, you all in. Season 2, you all in. Season 3, it's still good. Season 4, seems weird. Things not adding up. This person was smart the whole series. Now they acting like they dumb. Now, such and such was in love with this person, and now they don't even know what their sexuality is. That because they got new writers.
Right.
So the art that was the TV show, now, okay, we want to give other people opportunities. Let's bring in some new writers. Let's bring in some new talent. And now it just doesn't feel right. It's not interesting. You're targeting another audience, which, if that's what you want to do, is fine. But just know that what it was originally made to be is now not attractive to the same group of people that it was before.
Facts. 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 Okay. I follow
So
you.
things like majorette dancing, that's just like, okay, and I'm not going to say that there's only non-melanated ones, but come on, how many well, no, it is a lot of them. Never mind, I'm not going to use that as an example. But I guess it's enough of them. Not as much as it used to be when I was little, but I was going to say Girl Scouts. Like
Mm.
it's a couple of them sprinkled in there, but it ain't a lot.
Mm-mm.
And the amount of cookies that them little non-melanated girls sell, it cannot compare. We can't catch up. We can't catch up. And we love them
Mm-mm.
little cookies. But our
Girl,
girls
do
don't
we
be at
not?
the top. And our girls don't be at the top of the sales.
At all. At all.
Not
I
at
don't.
all.
I feel like, just like how what I share with you, at an HBCU, you might get the whole feel of the majorette dancing, right? You get the
Mm-hmm.
authenticity of the majorettes. You get the authenticity of the experiencing of the bands and the performance at halftime and the engagement from different events and stuff like that. But what we are not keeping in mind is that the HBCUs are either exclusive to certain requirements just to ensure that they keep, their numbers up, because it's a numbers game at the end of the day. So there might be
About
certain
what? To keep their
about,
I'm
like,
sorry. Yeah, I had
with
lost you.
with
Exactly.
colleges with colleges, they're looking for the rating or grading scales. So
Yeah.
they need their students to score X on their assessments or their tests.
Mm-hmm.
They need this and this. So there are certain levels of exclusivity when it comes to what they're looking for in their students. So if this young lady, let's just say in particular, this young,
That's
now
a whole
granted,
nother episode because that's just what they put out there. That's not true. That's what they lead us to believe, but that's not true. It's a
the
numbers game
acceptance
because
process,
it's a numbers game because it's somebody in charge who said, I want this school to have this amount of this many types of people. And then the school goes along and goes, all right, well, we're going to bring in that
right,
and this amount of money. That's what it is. Now, the other stuff where they tell you, oh, you got to have this GPA and this SAT score, it's crap. It's bull. It's another way. It's another way to gatekeep. It's another way to keep us out of their schools. It's another way for them to just say, oh, we want cold hard cash. So let's let these rich parents pay and buy a building in their name and let their kids come here and their grandkids and their great grandkids to continually funnel through our school because we know that's a $1
right,
rather than allow scholarships and things like that. And everybody know the government take forever to give you your money. So a lot of schools don't like the student loans and stuff as much as it sounds like it's good. I always look at stuff from a business perspective. If I'm a business and I know that Amy over here gonna give me $1,000 in cash right now, I only got one spot, but I know Michael over here, he got funding, but it's going to take me 90 days to a year to get that same $1,000 from Michael. I'm going to let Amy have a spot. I'm going to have my money right now. I ain't got to wait. I ain't got to keep calling and emailing the government to give me my money. And I also don't have to make it a certain way because Amy just like, I want to come here with my $1,000. You
right.
understand what I'm
But
saying?
I do. But what I was saying was the qualifications they have to meet, in regards to the young lady at USC, the qualifications and then the majors. HBCUs don't offer or support every single major. And then there's only a certain number of seats for each of those majors. So depending on what she was trying to go to school for, where she needed to be, like I said, I'm team let the girl have the experience because you never know. Like maybe she just couldn't get into the school that she wanted to get
Mm-hmm.
into. So because of that, she didn't want to go without that part of the experience, did what she had to do and was able to start a team. I do understand where you're coming from though with maintaining the integrity of the process because now she has definitely watched the video and tried to recreate the vibe and I'm sure it didn't
Mm-hmm.
hit as hard as it needed to hit and I get that.
No, it
But
didn't at all. It was probably a joke. It was like, what the heck is happening? It's
but
like,
yeah,
what is
in that
happening?
I'm done. In
It
that
really
in
is
that
because
instance though, keeping those things in mind. So yeah, the gatekeeping to maintain the integrity, but at the same time, because she wasn't able to make meet the mark or exceed the expectation or
is
get
that what she
accepted.
said though?
No,
Is
I'm
that what
looking
she
at it.
said?
No. That's not what she said. But I'm
What
saying
did
these are
she
things that you got to
did
keep
she
in
say
mind.
anything about why she created a majorette team at a predominantly non-melanated school?
Oh, so she could do it. She could dance.
She could okay, so there was other ways that she could have did that though.
True.
Like if it was that much of a passion for you and you're an adult, start one in a neighborhood that where these kids need something to do. Start a majorette team and get those kids prepared to go to a HBCU and dance the way they wanted to dance.
Mm.
See, I'm on the side of gatekeeping, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because for some reason, and it might just be me. Melanated, non-melanated people, yes, of course, they've gate kept a lot of things from us. But at the end of the day, do I really care? Do I really care? Is it me or do they want to take more out of our gates than we want out of theirs? Only thing I want out of their gates is financially. Like, how y'all still this wealthy? Because I just want to make sure my kids stay that wealthy. Other than that, y'all can't cook and you don't really dress nice. I
Oh
don't
my
want
gosh,
nothing out of
friend,
your
friend,
gate.
you're going left.
I
You're
don't
going
want nothing
left. You're
else out of
going
your
left.
gate.
You're going left. You're going left. You're going left.
But like really, like no, seriously, just your interaction, just in life in general. Just the, oh my God, how did you get your hair like that? Like I cannot think of a time in my life where I asked a non-melanated woman how did she get her hair like that. And I've seen some creative stuff, but I already knew how you got it like that.
But that's not fair, friend, because you do hair. So
Nah, before that, I still knew. I still knew. I either knew or it was not of any interest to me.
I can't deal. I can't deal. So within our community, because we're getting close to the end, within our community, when it comes to gatekeeping, I'm gonna name off a couple of things. And I saw some of them are on here as well. I'm gonna just go down what's here because that's solid. So when it comes down to starting businesses, sharing financial pathways, resources, and things like that. We talked about jobs, we talked about recipes, that's the soft stuff. But when it
Yeah.
comes down to financial increase or financial well being in our community, I can be coming up, and this is me saying I just so I ain't talking nobody else's business because this is not my
Yeah.
story. But I can be progressing and doing well financially and be making
Mm-hmm.
money in this lane, right? And then somebody
Yeah.
will come ask me, let's talk about this PPP, right? So the PPP loan application and information is all out there. There were some people who had cracked the code and they knew if you have these qualifications, you will be successful. Well,
Mm-hmm.
if I have these qualifications and you know I will be successful, why do I have to pay you 10% of what I get? Why can't you
Because
just
those
point
are
me in
called
the right
scammers. Those
direction?
not called gatekeepers. Those called scammers.
But the scammers, the thing is though, but the scammers, that is a form of gatekeeping. What they do when they're charging you obnoxious amounts to gain
Mm-hmm.
access and not
To
even giving you
something that,
access to it.
yeah.
Yeah, but they're just connecting the dots for you. It's like, why can't you just show me how to connect my own dots? And I know that's how businesses work. Businesses aren't sharing proprietary information, but the word proprietary is just a fancy word for gatekeeping. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like when you have these things that are proprietary to your business, it's literally your legal way of gatekeeping. And I see where that benefits, like Colonel Sanders. I'll use that example like you said earlier. I
Mm-hmm.
see where that benefits Colonel Sanders by keeping that recipe under lock and key. I'm cool with that. What to call it? McDonald's got their secret sauce. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm telling you, I'm almost sure if somebody else said I want to come out with another burger and I'm trying to do this, I'm sure the CEO in his right frame of mind would turn around and say, "Well, I started with this." Why? Because in the long run, even if you're being selfish about it, I helped you start, so I know what you got. So I'm like, if you look at it from a selfish perspective, like I know what you got going on. So there's no reason for me to stop you because I already know what you're doing. So with that, it's like I'm still going to progress. And then on top of
Mm-hmm.
that, you get to win too.
Mm.
I just don't see the value in doing that. Yes, I charge for a service. No, I'm not going to sit there and tell you how to apply a relaxer or how to do these things because there are certain
Mm-hmm.
requirements you need to meet in order to provide these things. But
Yeah, you
I will
just can't
definitely
learn
tell
that
you
in 2 minutes.
where you right. I can definitely tell you where you need to go to get started.
Yeah. And that's
But
but
that don't
that's the
hurt.
thing. But that's the thing that I guess makes it gatekeeping because us, we don't even want to tell you that. We don't even tell you where to get started. We'll just nah, the little song, yeah. I don't know. It just happened. No, it didn't just happen. Who's your vendor? Like the vendor list. Like, oh my gosh, you know how many thousands of dollars people made off of selling vendor lists? Have you ever purchased a vendor list? Okay, so I don't know if I purchased one or somebody else purchased and gave me a copy. Something like that happened. But I'm looking at the vendor list and it is absolutely not helpful at all. There's like 300 suppliers on there from Alibaba or AliExpress. I could have did that. I could have
Right.
went on there and looked up a bunch of vendors and wrote them down on the list and put it there. So like that kind of gatekeeping, I'll put them in the pile with the scammers.
So you consider that gatekeeping because they're charging for their list of references?
Yes. That's gatekeeping too.
So charging for a product or service is gatekeeping too?
That wasn't a product or service. It was a list of companies.
Right. But if you look at it
Yellow
for its
pages
core,
was always free.
right. But at the same time, the yellow pages had things contributed into it. If I am the person who has spent my time to compile a list of verified vendors, I feel like they're okay selling their list of vendors. I don't have to buy it. But at the same time, if you say I Googled a list of places, that's the least you could do. The least you can do is say I Googled and read reviews. All right, cool. You don't have to give me the list that you did because you're selling that as your product. And that is something that is, that's your product. That's your product or service. So, no, you don't have to tell me every single thing or give me the list for free because, yes, you did put your work in. But at the same time, if all you did was Google, you can say, I went to Google and looked for some vendors. And that's
Mm.
that's not gatekeeping, but I don't think a product or service necessarily is gatekeeping. I
So
think
if I see in your place of business,
mhm,
you're a hairstylist and you use a certain type of comb, and I ask you, where'd you get those combs from? And you tell me I got a vendor's list for $2.99 if you would like to know. You don't find that gatekeeping?
that's dirty. I
That's
think
what I'm
that's
talking
dirty.
about. Like
Okay.
if I that's how these people was doing. Like I see you doing a wig. You're a hairdresser. You're doing a wig. Or you're putting in extensions. And I say, where did you get the extensions from? And you tell me you're going to sell me a vendor's list for $300 because I asked you where the extensions came from.
Yeah, no, that's dirty. That's dirty. But what I'm saying
That's
is
what I'm talking about.
it's
That's
not
all a
it's
vendor list is. That's how they
right.
came up with them. Because somebody asked, oh, I want to sell lashes. I see you sell lashes. Where you get the lashes from? Oh, I got a vendor's list for $4.99. Like, that's where it came from. And people
So
saw,
I'm gonna be real in that aspect. I guess because just like how your thing was the J sets, mine in that aspect, I guess I'm gatekeeping them. And
mm-hmm,
the reason being is because if I am a provider of a thing,
mm-hmm.
I would then give you all of the tools that I've studied and researched and weighed out and read reviews for and quality
But I didn't
tested
ask you
and
for all of that. I asked you where you got the bundles.
right. But
I
what I'm
didn't
saying is the
nothing
work
else.
it
But
took
where
me,
you got the
the
bundles.
work
And
it
I
took
gotta
me
pay
to
three
get to
hundred
the place
dollars
where
to
I
figure out
have
where
the
you got the
bundles
bundles.
that you want to say are nice. The
Mm-hmm.
work it took me to get to the place where I now have the quality bundles. I'm not going to try to sell you a obnoxious list of vendors, but I'm definitely going to tell you if you would like to purchase some, let me know. I am selling these bundles. These are
But
my
why?
bundles.
But why?
Because then if that is the case, there are certain
What?
certain things certain things I feel as though just like how I with the situation we were just discussing, certain things as far as this, like if I have done the quality testing, I have done the work, I have lost money, I have done all of this just to get to a place where I have a product that is now benefiting me monetarily, I will let you know how I got started. I am not going to tell you how I am here. And I guess in that situation, I am gatekeeping because I will definitely tell you how I got started. But once I have
Okay.
perfected my
So
craft,
you still
I
didn't
am
answer
not
my
just going to
question
give
though.
that away
But you still didn't answer my question. My question was why? Why are you gatekeeping that information?
because I've already put in my work. I have already
Okay, it's
lost
done. You
money.
did the work. You did the
Right.
work. The work is done. You can't go back and erase. That is where the bundles came from. You can't go back and erase the work that you've done. But because you did the work, why wouldn't you want to help somebody else who wants to do the same thing?
I'm not saying I wouldn't help them. I'll definitely help them get started.
So
What's
if they
necessary to
ask
get
you,
going?
so if they ask you, who do you use to supply your supplies? You're gonna say, well, I started and I Google and until I found somebody. You're not gonna say I
No.
went to company ABC.
Well, I'm not going to be that terrible, no. But if I no, I'm going to just say no. No.
That's interesting. But what I'm trying to get out of you is why. And you still haven't said why.
I said the why. My
Oh,
why
you
for
said
you is not
because you did the
valid,
work. Oh,
but
you said
that's
because
my
you did the
why.
work. Okay,
I've
because you did the
already
work.
I've already taken
Okay.
the L. I've already done all of this, and now I am succeeding at this thing. So
So
now
do you pick and
instead,
choose? Do you
no,
pick and choose who you would give the work to versus not?
no, I don't think I
You
do.
just ain't giving it to nobody.
Mm-mm.
So you went to school, you graduated. There is now a young person who needs help with algebra. Based
Then
on
I
what you
help them.
said, you ain't helping them because you did the work
No,
already.
I said when it comes to
You
no. I
ain't
said
telling them how to do algebra because you
when
already
it
did
comes
your
to
work.
my business, when it comes to my business, no.
Okay.
But I'm saying that is where I say I am gatekeeping because I've taken so many L's. I've worked so hard to build up my people. And if I know we are in the exact same circle of people and these are my
You're
prices,
not though.
I can
Nobody is in the exact same circle of people. There's enough people on this earth to supply enough of whatever you have to enough people for you. Like,
that's
and then
true. That's
that's the
true.
whole thing. Like, what God has for you is for you. It don't matter who knows how or what or why. If it's for you, it's for you. Now, I'm not saying foolishly go out there and give away all your business secrets. Don't give them the 11 herbs and spices for your KFC chicken. I'm not saying that. But if
But
I
see,
say, but if you
in this
ask me where my chicken
situation,
came from, I'm gonna go, oh yeah, over at Joe's Farm.
right. But what I'm saying is, if I say, all right, so where's my chicken come from? Joe's Farm, right? All right. And so
Mhm.
what do you put on your chicken? I season my chicken. Or should I tell them my 11 herbs and spices now? Because
No, that's
where can
not
I
what I
draw the
said.
line?
That's why I
But,
use the bundle. That's why I use the bundle situation as an example. Because
right.
all
But
I
in
watched
my
you do was
response,
put hair in somebody's head.
right.
I
But
didn't
in
ask
my
you how to
response,
do
what
it.
I'm saying is, I'm not saying that. In my response, in theory, the thing that I would be gatekeeping would be my 11 herbs and spices because granted, I'm not teaching
You
you
just
how
said
to
you wouldn't
carry
tell me
out a
where you got
thing.
your combs from.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you
I
said
didn't
that
say
was
I would.
petty.
That's petty. I
Oh,
never
okay.
said that. I
So
said
I don't see the
in the
difference.
situation, the example that I'm giving, as far as let's say I do custom apparel. We all know that. So I do custom
Mhm.
apparel, right? I will definitely point you in the right direction or tell you the things that you need. Am I
Mhm.
going to sit down and teach you how to do it for free? No.
No, we went,
So what
but
I'm
I
saying
wasn't
is
talking
I
about
am not
teaching. I was talking about a vendor's list.
right. But what I'm saying is that when it came down to that, like that person who might be selling their product or service, that's on
No,
them.
I'm not talking about product or service.
But
All I
that's what
asked
I
for
said before
is
you
where
cut me
you
off
got
before.
something from, but you won't tell me. I got to give you $400, $300 for me to figure out, and then I got to go through all of these things to see which one was the good one, because you don't just have one on here.
Well, most of the vendor lists I've seen, I've never purchased one, but most of the vendor lists I've seen, they are validated or vetted vendors. Now, whether or not that's true or false, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they
Whether
lying.
that's true or false, I don't know. But as far as what I was saying, when the person has a product, which is their vendor list, what would be the point in having the product of the vendor list? And I'm just using it at black and white. My product is a vendor list. So
Mm-hmm.
if I am selling a vendor list, what would be the problem with me saying I have the vendor list for
But
sale
your
instead of
product
just
is not the
giving?
vendor. The reason you have a vendor list is because you had another product.
Girl, no, it's some
You
people out here just solely selling vendor lists. Like they're
how?
validating stuff
I don't need
and they're
how.
out here selling vendor lists because they
How?
purchase from these vendors in
Why did they
smaller
purchase
quantities
from the
for
vendors?
themselves,
Why did they purchase from the vendors?
for their own utilization. So what I'm saying is that I can't answer every single why you have, but what I'm saying is that for that product of a vendor list, that's what they have, they're selling. That's their product. So
Mm-hmm.
if they just turn around and tell everybody what's all on the vendor list, then they no longer have a product. So for them to be selling their vendor list, that's their business. But them not sharing it, I guess in theory, by definition, yes, that's gatekeeping. But if your product is the vendor list, then you are not wrong for saying I have the vendor list for this item. Now, if it's just a comb and I'm asking you where you got your comb from, that's cool. But then you say, all right, where'd you get the cape? Where'd you get the weave? Where did you get the the clips? Where did you get the thread? Where'd you get the needle? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? Well, dag on it, that's my whole list. So I'm not doing that. And I'm not saying that
So
I would
that's
not
where
do that
vendor
in
list
that.
is birthed out of, people asking
Right.
people where they got stuff from.
Right. And so, in order to save their time, think of it like a consultation. Now, granted, I do give consultations for free, they're included with a service purchase.
I don't. They're not free.
They're included with the purchase service. But basically, what's happening is there's, like you said, you don't give consultations for free. So that means that you don't evaluate or speak to a thing because you've gone to school, you've perfected your craft, and you won't give that knowledge away for free. So you
I'm
will
not giving my
protect that knowledge.
time away for free. There's no knowledge. I'm not giving my time away for free.
But when I literally just said the same thing, I said they spent their time researching, vetting, and confirming if that's what they did.
That's not what I'm talking about. It's not about the research or vetting or confirming anything. A consultation is you coming in and us having a conversation about my craft
Right. But
during
I
my
have
time.
compiled,
So if you
I've
gotta
spent my
come during
time
my
to
work time,
compile a
anything
vendor
that
list,
happens to me
and I am
while
not
I'm
just giving it
working,
away for free. I'm just
anything that
not.
happens to me while I'm working, I need to get paid for. So I don't do consultations outside of work. So if I'm working, yes, you're going to pay for my time. So if you come into the salon, that means I'm working. Yeah, you're going to pay for that time. I don't care what we're doing. You're paying for it.
Totally
But
understood. But at the
if
same
I'm
time, like
talking
I'm
to
saying with the
another
vendor list,
hairdresser, though, if I'm talking to another melanated hairdresser and she starts asking me questions about how I do certain stuff, I'm open book.
that's
And
a
that's
you
just
said
me.
a hairstylist.
Yes.
So if Sarah came in and Sarah happens to be melanated and she walks in and she starts to ask you questions about all the things that you have and the things you do and your technique and stuff like that, you're just going to tell Sarah.
My technique.
Yeah, the
And
questions they
Sarah
have.
and Sarah is a client?
No, Sarah's just a person who's interested. So she wants to
No.
learn your technique and she wants to know. So Sarah would have to be a
Why
hairstylist
would Sarah want to know my technique if she's not a hairstylist or a client?
because Sarah wants to get started.
No, because Sarah's annoying and Sarah need to go sit down somewhere. Because
So
for what?
I am in the
She want to
exact
get
same
started
boat.
what? She wants to get started what? Doing hair?
She wants to get started doing hair.
Oh, okay. Well, then she need to go to school.
All right, so you're not going to spend any time helping Sarah.
When she gets in school, absolutely.
But she's got to go to school first.
Yes, because it ain't no, she can't do it unless she has a license. So
Okay.
I'm not going to
So
teach Sarah how to drive and she don't have
understood.
a driver's permit.
And I'm following you. I'm following you 100% there. But what I'm saying is the exact same thing. If you pay the cost of said service, I am now giving you what it is that you need. So Sarah would need to enroll in school in order to get help from you. That's going to cost Sarah money too, and way more than a vendor list. So in that instance, it's the exact same. There are qualifications or prerequisites before you'll have access to this item. And the qualification for this particular item is to pay me. So that is all that I'm saying when it comes down to those people who do those vendor lists. I am not one of those people. So I can't necessarily or adequately defend them necessarily. But what I'm saying is I am one of those people
No, but
too.
what I'm saying is, you kind of took the role of like, we shouldn't gatekeep, but
No, I
then
didn't. Gatekeeping's appropriate in some
you
places.
said let them girls be them girls, let them girls live.
In that instance, yes.
Yeah, but why
But
is it in that
that's not my firm stance on the whole thing. I am situational. Just like how you would teach a child in different formats, depending on the situation, I'm approaching it accordingly. So I am not saying that as a blanket, gatekeeping is a no and cut it out. No, gatekeeping. I'm hashtag team I to keep your recipe until you pass away. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that just makes it all the more special and valuable to me in use at the end of it. Do you get what I'm saying?
I
Because
think
it has
that's what
been
it is. I
passed
think
down
that's
from
where we
place to
see
place.
different. Because I don't see value in it. I don't care, but I don't see value in it.
Yeah, and see, I see it from.
You want it, and I'm talking about the recipe. If you want to keep your recipe, yeah, that's your business. But I don't see why. I'm never gonna understand why Ida is gatekeeping her mashed potato recipe.
Because it's special. It's special to Aunt Ida to be able to sit down with that baby and teach that baby how to make it. And we're not gonna teach nobody else. I am gonna be the sole person who shows everybody how to make the mashed potatoes. every holiday. And that's all Aunt Ida has to say. All right. So, but with
Mm-hmm.
that, friend, we are a few minutes over. So we're going to go ahead and turn the corner and get out the door.
Okay, dokie.
What is it? That thing. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, The Melanin Mindset. Find us on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset. Go ahead and comment down below if you're watching the playback and let us know what your thoughts are on gatekeeping and if there are benefits, or would you say that it's all negative? All right. Because you can either be team gatekeeping, anti gatekeeping, or maybe you're just like, we're going to see what it's going to be type of person. So with that, let us know down in the comment section below, even if you're watching the playback. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Friend, do you have anything to say to the people?
Yes, gatekeepers are anti gentrifiers. Gatekeeping is how we keep the culture alive.
All right, y'all. Have a great rest of I'm not fooling with Kia tonight. Y'all have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next week, Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We out, y'all.